So how do you make sure to like get in all that food that needs for that energy?
First of all, I think that the body has a good adaptation to what you're doing.
You burn a lot.
So if you would be running as much as I do with my pulse for my intervals, maybe you would burn more than I do.
In today's competence video, we're going to talk about the importance of diet and performance. Hi and welcome to us at Goat Sports and our competence video. My name is Adrian Skepi. Together with me is my colleague, Coach Martin Strante. And together is a guest that we've had before on our show, Mr. Kristofer Låås. So Kristofer, nice to have you back.
Thank you.
Kristofer is a Swedish long-distance runner with really impressive times. And as we remembered from last time, you come from a long lineage of long-distance runners in the family. So today we're going to talk about nutrition. We know that you're vegan and you compete on a very high level. And usually, well, I'll just jump right into it.
Yeah.
Usually, we kind of come to a point where we are, with our upbringing, we have a certain type of diet that we followed throughout, well, whatever norm is for that country. And then we come to a point where that changes. So when and how was that point for you?
Yeah, so I think I was raised on a very typical Swedish diet. And then around when I was 22, I think, my girlfriend told me that we're gonna be vegetarians now. And I think when I was younger I was a bit skeptical towards that diet. But then as I started getting older and cooking by myself and so on, and also meeting my girlfriend, I think that it was more natural to try something else. But from the beginning it had no relation to performance or so. It was mostly about the animals. So I felt like, or me and my girlfriend felt like we don't want to support the animal industry. So we want to be vegetarians instead. So it was you go cold turkey, I think it's called. You just change from one day to the other. So we basically cut off all meats, dairy, eggs and so on, fish, and almost completely vegan from one day to the other. And like I said, not really about performance, but something else.
What a lot of people have to do, no matter what diet you're trying, or you kind of have to go all in order to feel any kind of effects.
Yeah.
Of course, especially when it comes to performance or just feeling better.
Yeah.
Besides, of course, the moral of it, what other variables like energy levels or sleep or performance or well, whatever it could be, do you feel is very important for you when it comes to changing something? Because even within your diet, you could always change and eat more of something and less of something else. So what is important for you to kind of use as a reference?
Yeah, so what I noticed at first was that I was losing a lot of weight, because changing to a vegan diet, you need to think about fat, protein and all this stuff. So I lost maybe 8 kilos in 2 or 3 weeks. I remember my football coach telling me or asking me if I had any girl troubles because I was losing a lot of weight. So it was a big change for the body in the beginning, but I started taking some help from actually a friend in the football team. He was also vegan, and he told me that you need to add oils in the salads, or you need to add avocados, you need to add peanut butter and all these fatty oils and protein sources. And then I started feeling a lot better. And actually I felt like I could do more training on the vegan diet, because I didn't get these really tired feeling after the meal that you need to digest something really heavy or so on, because I was eating a lot when I was playing football. And then when I started running more, shifting from playing football to running, I felt like on a vegan diet you need to eat a little bit more in terms of how much, because it's not the same density as meat, so you need to have a bigger plate of food basically. But I started feeling that you also don't need to eat as much as I have like a rule saying that maybe when you're 80% full, you can take some extra or you can skip it. Sometimes if you take the extra, you go 100% full. You're feeling like you ate too much.
Yeah.
So sometimes I think it's even better to eat maybe 80 or 90% of that feeling. And with the vegan diet, it's been easier to do that. And also I think that my training has been improved because of that. And also it's, you know, your mother used to say you need to eat vegetables when you were a kid.
Yeah.
And now I'm eating a lot of vegetables, but she's still worried about me not getting the other stuff. Maybe not now because it's been like 10 years vegan, so.
You mentioned about protein, so we know that for athletes, for recovery, protein is very important. How do you as a vegan think about and try to get in a lot of protein?
So that was my feeling, or what I was worried about in the beginning. How do I get the protein sources? But actually there's more protein in not vegetables, but like grains, pasta, for example, beans, peanuts, nuts. So then you think about. So at first I was like, is there really protein in beans? Yeah, there's a lot of protein in beans. So we're eating, our main source of protein I would say is peanut butter, probably lentils. We eat a lot of lentils, and beans, tofu for example, and also some of these not really healthy half processed or full processed vegan you know, supplements, or like oomph for example, or some of this other stuff that's you're just changing the meat to a vegan source of meat.
Exactly.
Yeah. So, but yeah, mostly lentils and beans and peanut butter.
So we talk about also like complete protein. So we know that animal protein has all the amino acids, and that vegetables don't always all have all the amino acids. How do you think about combination? What do you think about it?
I think about the variety of sources. So maybe kidney beans don't have all the amino acids, for example, but if you eat kidney beans with rice and then some fatty oils or something, then you get the full source. I don't know if it's like what I just said is completely true, but if you just make a mix of all these different kind of sources, you get the full amino acids.
So like you said, variation. Like if you only eat kidney beans, then maybe you won't get all of them. But if you vary and eat all of these different things, then you will get it.
Yeah, so probably I think if you eat a vegan diet, you cannot just change to like a shitty vegan diet, because you could just eat French fries and I don't know, the hamburgers from these fast food chains that are vegan, and then it's a vegan diet, but that's not really healthy vegan diet. So we try to eat as much vegetables as possible, and also like buying stuff from the supermarket which don't have a ingredient list, or maybe are half processed or fully processed.
Exactly. No, I mean, it all kind of falls down to quality, of course. Like you said, you can be vegan, but you could have the worst kind of nutrients, or you can be anything else, and then make sure that, okay, whatever I get it with quality.
Yeah, exactly.
So we were talking a little bit prior to this video, and you showed your clock, and you can see how many calories you burn. And we know that running as much as you do on a weekly basis, you burn a lot. So how do you make sure to like get in all that food that needs for that energy?
Yeah. So first of all, I think that the body has a good adaptation to what you're doing. So if you would be running as much as I do with my pulse for my intervals, maybe you would burn more than I do, because you're not really adapted to running as fast or as much as I am. So I think the body adapts at first, but then also I add some more snacks in between meals.
What are some, like, give us some tips. What snacks?
Peanut butter sandwich, probably the most common one. Some oats, maybe. We like to do some banana pancakes. Sometimes chia puddings, which is very nice. Sometimes it could be some really bad snacks also. You know, like chocolate ball or some cookies, but that's not usually what I eat. Mostly it's
that's not prior to a competition.
No,
that's after.
Yeah. And I take some protein / carb loader in between. If I have a really tough day with training, I take some of these protein powders or whatever.
Just to get that extra amount.
Yeah.
Burning.
Yeah, just to be sure. But it's not that often, I would say.
All right, Kristofer, thank you again for coming and sharing with us. Like, how do you do and how do you think about food? And I think that's important when it comes to diet and performance and everything, is you have to check some of the variables. What kind of energy do I have? How do I sleep? How do I feel when eating? How do I feel after eating? So I'm not passed out on the sofa because I ate too much or too little. And make sure that, like you guys heard, that you actually go into details of what is necessary. So if you have a certain type of diet, you might need some complements to that. And if you have something else, you probably need complements to that as well. And always try to put yourself into the context of what is good for me. That's the most important thing, because if you feel good, you probably perform good. So stay tuned for more episodes from us and our channel. And until then, take care.